You got it? You coming? Welcome back, keepers of the flame. Sucky, sucky, sucky. Hello. See, I kind of feel like an asshole for doing this, but like I want to show you my new deck, but then when I tried to go purchase it again for a friend, there was none left, and it said we don't know if or when we're gonna get any more back in stock. I hope they're available on another website. You can go look it up. It is Earth and Bone by Oracle cards by Sirian Shadow. I'm not redoing it. I'm keeping it. Okay. Beautiful, amazing, lovely. Good. So this is what they all look like. Pack. Portal. These are so beautiful. I'm a Scorpio stellium though, so I might be slightly biased towards a skeleton. Slightly. Just a little. There's flowers and skeletons. Hello. It's so my gig. Shelter. It says spiritual growth, revival, accountability, healing, sage, harmony, acceptance, calm, serenity, patience. Trinity. Balancing decisions, priorities, and adapting to change. It's just savage. You just went for a walk, bro. How could you possibly? Gorgeous knuckle naggles? Oh, baby. Okay. All right. Surrender, heart. Emotional awakening, creativity, intuition, and follow your heart. Blood moon, illusion, uncertainty, confusion, secrets, egotism, narcissism. Okay, where's the... There it is. This is... I love this card. Stoicism. I just like it because it's like that green color and... Okay, well... Maybe it's the universe telling me maybe you should look into this because it keeps popping up for me. But her dress is freaking phenom. Do. Peaceful, harmonious, receptiveness, and manifestation. Time, planning, making decisions, learning comfort. Learning comfort. Taking risks. That's what it says. Planning, comma, making decisions, comma, learning comfort, comma, taking risks. Ta-ta-da. Flow, recovery, moving on, and finding peace. And this popped out. The serpent. 32. Look at there. I got one of these little thingy handy dandies. You are going to have to suffer my face, though. Sorry about your freaking luck. I mean, this is as close as I can get it without... This is put it on a stack of books. Okay. There you go. Ready, sight, girl. This is quite a nice little book, too. It's got the colored pictures in it. Very, 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 very nice. I like it. I like it a lot. Now is the time to embrace your authentic self and let your true light shine brighter than it has ever before. This is your message of hope to spread and share to others that difference is beautiful and that difference should be celebrated. Regardless of how you are perceived or evaluated, listen to your truth and pursue what your heart tells you. The worlds of others are not the same as yours. So get to know yourself well enough to comprehend and accept their perception of you as not who you are. You are more knowledgeable about yourself than they will ever be. Their assessment of you is based on their sense of reality, which is a different version of your reality. It makes no difference what their reality is. You are a unique breed, and that is precisely what you need to be. The projections of fear cast on you from others were causing you to hide away from the world. You are starting to break free from conformity and become your true self, and you're entering a period of rebirth. The affirmation is, I love the person I am becoming and here to shine. I am at peace with myself, and I love and accept myself unconditionally. I am authentically me. Yeah, when the cards are like, yeah. Did you need a confirmation on that? 'Cause, yeah. I just bought a cart, one of those 4-wheeled cart things. And I went to the flower store and I bought flowers. And I wheeled them through my neighborhood to my house. This is the most ludicrous dream anyone could ever had, but it was mine, and I did it today. So, yeah, definitely, yeah. I didn't think that's what it was going to be. But, yep, that's what that card says. Woohoo! Okay, so, what else? Astrology. The reason why people say astrology is fake and crap is because it's not, we haven't evolved with it. That's why everybody's like on the evolutionary astrology, because when winter comes, astrologically, we're not in the sign of Capricorn. And when summer comes along, we are not in the sign of Leo. I'm about to find out how many astrologers were subbing to my channel. Unsubs. But I'll wait for those people to leave. So the purpose of astrology is to develop this system within yourself for self-evolution and self-discovery. It can be okay for predictions. It can be at times. But the whole purpose is for you to understand that the natural development that's happening with you is also happening outside of you. So when we're in spring right now, we want to grow things, we want to plant things, we want to nurture things. We naturally want to start losing weight, and it falls off. Not losing, shedding. We naturally want to shed weight because it's falling off anyway. We're doing more, we're more busy. We don't want to eat all that hot stuff anymore because it's nice out, it's beautiful during the day, and we just don't want to do that. And that's how I've been for years and years and years, because I worked in a greenhouse. So I would have the winters off, and I would stuff my face with pasta and bread and freaking make homemade pizza and homemade bread and all those goody little things. Christmas cookies. When we used to celebrate Christmas cookies. Now we just do it at the first snow. Every time the first snow comes, we have a big baking fest. And we listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers. No. So it's just those little things that you just move with the seasons rather than what rando crap society has going. This is out now. Purchase this random stupid object that you never knew you needed. That type of scenario, if you will. So understanding that it's not a total bust, but I take it more to a medicinal growing thing than I do I don't know whatchamacallit. a set in stone type of thing, because everybody wants to talk about fate and free will and whatever else. Well, those energies are going to come on the planet from the other planets and the stars and their placements anyway. So you get a choice on what you do with that, though. You get to choose how you operate through that, how you see different things. Ambition, determination, willpower, creation, and focus. You get to choose how you deal with the energies that come on the planet. Nobody gets to choose that for you. And the thing we forget is it's that's why I really don't like astrologers that don't pay attention to the outer planets, is because it is a collective thing. It's going to be hitting you in different ways, but it's still a collective progress of evolution that needs to happen. And when we just bypass that and ignore it, it doesn't need to happen. We get bad results. So it's not necessarily that fate needs to step in and take you by the throat. You need to be willing to understand that there's certain ways and modalities in which you can live your life that are going to be better for you than what society is telling you. There's different ways of being in the world that maybe society doesn't, praise or whatever. Like the people in the grocery store, I had my dog in a backpack and I had a giant blue fucking 4-wheeled cart like you would find at a greenhouse to tootle along with, full of plants. And a Gatorade and some coffee creamer. Gotta keep going, kids. And I thought I was going to be ill received, but I didn't really care. But there were more smiles than there were, what the hell you think you're doing? So that was nice. So I did what the serpent card told me to. Indirectly, I guess. Which is, I just went out into the community and spread my choco-ness all over the place. Like, hey, you don't need a car. Not when you can walk it. Not when you can walk it. We're slowing down, kids. It's Taurus season. I'm like, all right, Taurus, fucking uncle, I surrender. Take me now. Do what thou willst. And like, I wanted one of those cars forever and a day. I'm like, I think I'm gonna go get a car. I'm done gonna go get a car. So I did. I got a cart. And then I put it together last night when it arrived. And today I took it for a run. And it was amazing. And the thing is I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta leave right away in the morning. Like right away. Like right the F away. So I can get back and do other stuff for the other stuff. And then we got the other stuff. So it did not take me nearly as long as I thought it would. And I spent, I was like, you want to put that there? We can put that over here. What do I want my baskets to look like? And then, herbs and plants and all that other stuff. There's not a whole lot that I need, though, which is really nice. So, yeah, I'm going to go play in the dirt. But it's a developing an observation mode in the seasons and comparing and contrasting what spring feels like, smells like, acts like, feels like. Getting into those senses. What do you walk outside and sense? Do you smell the lilacs and the apple blossoms and the crab apples? Lilacs. What else is blooming right now? What do you call that? Lily of the valley. Fresh cut grass. What do you smell? Like, what do your senses tell you when you walk outside? Oh my God, it's biting me. No, not for me anyway. So put a hat on. Put some shades on, put a hat on. Is it cool and moist in the mornings? Is it dry and hot? Is it muggy? What is it? What does it feel like outside? What do you hear? Do you hear the birds? Do you hear the traffic? What do you hear? Do you hear the wind through the trees? The wind picking up the dust? Ocean spray in your face? What do you feel? What do you sense when you walk outside? What do you notice? What's growing? Do you know what it is? Could you find out what it is? Could you ask somebody, consult a plant book? Do you want, maybe you go to the greenhouse and you get the tags and you look at it and be like, oh, that's what that is. I don't know. Totally up to you. So if you can get into your surroundings and start really appreciating the luxury that we have on the outside. Hey, but there's pests. Well, what do those pests mean? What are they flying in your face for? Are they like pests, flies or bees or mosquitoes or gnats or June bugs. June bugs are about to be a thing here shortly. Those are those big honking right in the side of the face. I'm like, dude, watch where you're going. And they're like, no. I'm gonna just keep like going at the same spot over and over and over again. You're like until they beat themselves up against something and then they just fall. And then they do like, ah. Because that's what you do when you go outside and observe nature. You just watch bugs beat the crap out of themselves until they're delirious. Okay. There's nothing you can do. I've tried. Shut up. So, yeah, just notice like what kind of weeds are popping up. Do you want to pull them out? Are they invasive? Do you want to leave them there and see what they develop into? And like, If you live in an apartment building, do you want to plant something? Do you want to play in the dirt? You can go to the store and buy just a little teeny tiny bag of dirt, an empty potting, and whatever the hell you want to put in it. Just make sure you know how to grow it. And that you have the right conditions to do so. Like preferably like a window that opens so it can get some fresh air. Now if you live in a skyscraper, that's probably not going to be an option for you. But most places have balconies. Not all. But if you don't, you can always get like an air plant. They don't need anything except for air. And like a like misting. Like they have these beautiful glass bowls that you can just like hang from the ceiling or hang from wherever. Excuse me. And you just stick them in there. And then there's ones that even like have magnets so you can stick them on your fridge. And you just put your little plant in the little glass cuppy thing on the magnet and just take it out because the glass will get ugly. Take it out, spritz it over the sink, put it back in. Air plants are super easy peasy, lemon squeezy. What else? Da-da-da-da-da-da. So yeah, just for right now, just for the next 10, 20 days, observe your surroundings when you walk in the outdoor woods. Okay? That's going to help you understand the astrological time period more than anything at all. Observing your surroundings and what's happening at this point in the year for your surroundings is going to get you a better grasp on why astrology is there, how it was created, and what it was actually meant for. Because your individual experience out in the world is going to be different, obviously, than everybody else's. So notice how those things are different for you. Notice how those things resonate with you, and then keep diving into that. Keep diving into those experiences. How does this feel? How does this smell? How does this look? What sensations am I feeling in my body when I look at this plant versus that plant? Or when I look at a concrete block versus mulch? what do I feel when I look at the ant crawling across the sidewalk versus the worm trying to get some air because he's in a puddle, type of stuff. You feel me? So just start observing that stuff and see how it resonates with you. See if you can work past that. Ew, this is so gross. Oh. If you can work past that, it'll be okay. If you can't work past that, you might have a different role to fill, and that's totally cool. That's a fractal system that also needs to, we need computer programmers. We need people filling out paperwork, pushing paperwork, doing stuff on the indoor woods, and whatever else. But it does help the soul, and it is the cheapest therapy there ever was, aside from astrology and tarot, fate, cycles, alignment, decisive moments, opportunistic events. What do you be? We just talked about that. So sometimes we get those events, right, and we don't take them up. What if you're destined to meet a karmic connection that's just a total beamer? I don't know why I chose that word. And you're just like, oh God, that's exhausting. I can't deal with that shit right now. And you're like, no, spank you. What happens? You're just going to have to move on to the next one. You're just going to have to accept the fact that that's not for you. It's not in your registry right now. And you don't need to be spending that way, whatever it is. Everybody thinks karmic and soul connection, that you have to take it. You don't. You don't have to. And this is what they're referring to when they're saying evolving off the wheel. If you're willing to learn those karmic lessons on your own rather than having somebody else in your face, it is a little bit easier. It is a little bit. Not gonna lie. It's a little bit easier to learn those karmic lessons on your own rather than having somebody constantly bombarding them into you. Because oftentimes, then you have to spend so much or waste so much time recovering from that experience rather than just being well, whatever, So until we learn how to cooperate and be nice people to each other and just honor our places in the world rather than judge and demonize everything that actually isn't hurting us, we're just perceiving that way because we don't want to sit with our own pain and discomfort. So if you can do that, you're not going to be so on the outside. Also, I think there might be a little bit of a misperception when it comes to what love actually is. And that's why I love these cards, because there's a great song by His Infernal Majesty called When Love and Death Collide. And that's really starting to come into I used to hate roses. I used to hate them. I'm gross, disgusting. You see them at weddings and funerals and all this other bullshit. And it wasn't until I have a rose bush growing in my backyard that I really started to appreciate the rose bush. And it's not a floofy, beautiful, full, whatchamacallit. It doesn't look like this. It does not look like one of those. It's just one of those natural, wild looking roses, with the pale pink feathers open. It's lovely. It smells amazing. But I've never appreciated it. My mother used to have roses, and she had some very lovely ones, but I was never, I'd smell them and be yeah, that's cool. And now I'm starting to kind of enjoy them a little bit more. So it's a coming to understanding that when you're on that precipice, right, of that giving way and letting things die off and then starting anew, when you're on that precipice, the people that are around you, that you're connecting with, that you want to connect with, that you've chosen to be okay, I know it's a risk, but I'm going to let you in anyway. When you can do that, and they will stand with you in that and honor the process and burn with you and realize and come to a conclusion that this is so much more than just this one instance. that this is a whole huge pattern, systematic, coming to fruition, coming to an enlightenment that is, every time it's going to be painful. Every single time it's going to be painful. If we can honor that with each other rather than shoving the other person away. Now that depends though, like on how that person's evolution has come about. If they are not on an evolutionary trail, they're oftentimes going to push people away instinctively. They're not going to know how to really just like hear what people are saying and honor it and be like, okay, I see where that is, but this is what my perspective is. And then you come together on that same paradigm of like seeing each other, but it's not going to be how you ever planned it to be. It's not that fairy tale thing. It's not even close to that. It's like, and oftentimes it's just a painful realization that something along the way has been completely broken down and you just missed it entirely because you yourself were stuck in a paradigm and a reality where their reality was not meeting yours. I'm just reflecting on that serpent card right now. Vicious savage. So when you understand that one person's reality does not have to be yours, and that one person does not have to step into your reality and you don't have to step into theirs, but you both consciously choose to come to the table with okay, why are we going through this? Why is this hitting us like this? What's happening? How do we readjust our sails? How do we come to a natural, authentic, genuine conclusion on what the fuck this whole thing is for? If you can do that with somebody, that's the evolutionary path. So rather than paint with a broad brush, paint with a chiseled hand, if you will, remember that, or a chiseled heart, I should say, a heart of stone. When you're bringing that out into the world, it's not just a perception that people have, it's an intuitive knowing, and they will intuitively and knowingly be that way with you. So it's that equal give and take. Like, you can't come and have a perspective of someone, even though they're showing you something else, you're like, no, I really see you, could you knock it off now? And they're like, no, but I am this way. And you're like, well, okay, if you got to be that way, then you got to be that way, and I got to go. But that's the thing, is like, we can see, a lot of us can see through to the heart of things, and nobody else seems to want to see through to the heart of themselves. That's where authenticity comes in. So if you step into your true authenticity, you won't have to worry about not being able to see through somebody else's BS. And you won't have to worry about having an issue of somebody coming in and like being like, okay, well, I am this way. And you're like, okay, you can be that way. You can totally be that way in the world. I'm not going to argue with that. I can see else as other things inside of you. But if you need to like not, that's cool. But I got to go then. I got to go. I got to get out of here. So I'm not staying and riding your trauma train. I'm not doing it. No trauma trains. We are getting on the evolutionary train. Evolutionary train. May I have a ticket, please? Thank you. Yes. Boom. Done. Boom. Done. Okay. So if somebody needs to ride their trauma train, that's fine. But nobody's forcing you to get on the trauma train. You can get the F off the trauma train. I don't care what the circumstances. I don't care what the freaking whatever it is. Choose a different train. Be like, nope, you can keep your ticket. I'm not getting on the trauma train. I'm going to get on the evolutionary train. Even if it is Ozzy's crazy train. That might be even a better option still. So, just remember that. when you're faced with a situation, any situation, you have total power and control. You might think through your strength, think through those consequences for saying no to something or saying yes to something or blah, 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 blah. But understand, if there's negative consequences for you saying no and honoring yourself, you need to get that out of there anyway. Okay? You need to go. You need to be gone. Okay? I love you. Keep your flame. My thing's about to run out. Have a beautiful weekend.